Morning, everybody. Yesterday, I just couldn't share this, and I try to keep everything positive, but I had to take a break yesterday. You caught my little post yesterday. I do appreciate everybody's support. You guys are so awesome. When I need that uplifting hug via Facebook, you guys are always there. So love it. Having my cup of coffee this morning. I had to shut my phone off yesterday and just kind of compose myself, because it's not very often that I have a moment like this. But I'm living with autism just like you. And mine, I've been doing this since he was, well, I've been doing it for 22 years now, living with autism, and it's never easy. I put on a very good facade for you guys. And today I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to share a little encounter I had yesterday when I had my Dustin with me, unfortunately. I went out yesterday to Orlando to pick up Dustin's CBD oil at the dispensary. And we went in there, and there was about 10 people inside, and I called ahead, let them know I was coming. I also ordered online to let them know I was coming. I tried to give them as much prep that I was bringing a person with autism with me, and they were really quick about it. They were wonderful people down there. First time I've been in there, and like I said, there was 10 people. So Dustin and I sat down. I gave Dustin my phone and his headphones so he could YouTube and try to keep him as calm as possible. But of course, he's just getting over not feeling well, which everybody, well, if you've been watching, I went to the hospital with him last week for him not feeling well. So anyway, it was kind of nice to get out a little bit. We've been kind of cooped up in the house. But we went in there and sat down, and everything was fine. And mind you, only about 5, maybe 10 minutes has gone by that we sat there. And all of a sudden, this really god-awful man jumps up out of his seat. About kind of startled me a little bit, because I wasn't sure what to expect at first. I didn't understand why he jumped up like he did. And he jumps up, though, and starts ranting and raving just as loud as he could be, directing all of this animosity towards me and Dustin. I was just kind of floored. I mean, I deal with these kind of behaviors from people periodically, time to time, but for the most part, I don't have a problem. And I'm bringing my son into this place because, if everybody remembers, last year was a really rough year for us. The reason I even went as far as doing what I'm doing with Dustin now, going to these CBD dispensaries, was because last year we were in and out of the hospital with Dustin for severe migraines, and ran all kinds of tests, blood work, and I even had to videotape Dustin throwing his head into my wall, creating holes, because these migraines were so severe. They put him on Depakote, which was something I did not like to do, but I was at my wit's end. So this is just a reminder of what I've been through this past year, and mind you, it's only February of 2019. So we finally found the CBD through the medical cards. And I applied for it and got Dustin help that way, because the other CBD I was getting in the health food stores was not being effective. And I didn't want him on the Depakote. He had gained a lot of weight from it, and it wasn't helping anyway. The CBD through the dispensary, still to this day, since November of last year, has stopped all of his migraines, and even some self-aggressive behaviors, and even just some of the aggressive behaviors that we were dealing with, because he's going through that testosterone change. He was a hand biter for years and years and has even stopped that. So needless to say, that's just what my year was like last year. And I still chucked on through for you guys and was continuing to try to make my videos for you. Try to find those homes for my Autism Welcome decal symbol through all the midst of all of this. And I still try to keep my smile for you. But today I'm going to be very transparent because yesterday was a reminder of why I created the Autism Welcome decal symbol. And it wasn't just for the feeling of welcoming when we go into those places. It's also a symbol that I'm trying to get into those entrance ways because I want people to see that symbol that are not living with autism. People like, well, I've dubbed this guy the D guy, and I don't like to use this word very often because it's kind of a nasty word. So let's just say it rhymes with kick, and he was definitely he was a real D kind of guy. Anyway, he jumped up out of his chair, getting back to what I was saying, now that you know what my year was last year, if you weren't aware of it. Jumped out of his chair, directed all of his animosity to us, loud as he could possibly be, yelling at us, saying, I can't take this no more, I can't stand it, there's no reason I should have to listen to this. People in the back room that worked there at the shop actually came out to see what all the commotion was. That's how loud he was. So at this point, all I could really say to him as he was shuffling out the door saying, call me when you guys are ready for me, was that he had autism and that try living with it. And that's all I could really get in. And I couldn't really say it too loud because Dustin was right there with me. So he stormed outside. So I tried to shrug it off. Really, really did. I try not to let people like that bother me because I know I'm going to encounter them at some point in time. It's just a given. But this man really caught me off guard. And I guess maybe I've just been exhausted from everything. Of course, you know, I'm still kind of getting myself back up to par because Dustin was just getting over being sick this last week. So maybe I'm a little tired. But I was vulnerable. I wasn't strong. So I sat there and tried to hold it in because I didn't want Dustin to see me cry. I had to be strong for him. And I wasn't. The people that were in there, people like, you know, they were waiting just like I was, shouted out to me, or not even really shouted out to me, but just kind of, you know, told me that not everybody felt that way and don't let that guy bother you. But he did. But it didn't bother me so much as the fact that I couldn't stand up for us. I couldn't stand up for Dustin. It was just me and Dustin. I didn't have reinforcements. I didn't have anybody there to sit with Dustin like I did the last time at the bowling alley when I was confronted by the other ignorant man there. And this guy here today, or yesterday, he made that man look like a saint. I mean, he was just god awful. Just awful. But, I couldn't leave Dustin alone to step outside to say my piece with this man, and I really, really wanted to. And I couldn't say anything to him intensely while he was there, being just so nasty to us, because Dustin was right there as well. And I don't want Dustin to get upset. When Dustin gets upset, and especially when he sees me upset, there's just no telling how he's going to react. But I'm sure it's not going to be good. So I was trying to keep myself calm and not say anything. But as I'm sitting there waiting and the man's outside. And even though everybody's already said their, piece on comfort, I had to go and ask for a piece of tissue so I could quietly try to sob without Dustin noticing. So they were very nice there and finally brought me back. And mind you, this is only like maybe 15 minutes I was waiting there, and I had already dealt with this in 15 minutes that we were there. So they brought me back and apologized for this man, said they were really appalled by this man's behavior, and even gave me a discount, which was great because this stuff isn't cheap. But they also had mentioned that from now on that they were going to put in Dustin's file there that if I come in, that they were going to make sure I get back as soon as possible. So that's where I thought it would be really, really nice if they jumped on board and put that symbol at their entranceway for the D guy and anybody like him. That's my reminder of one of the reasons I created that symbol. A lot of people think it's autism welcoming, it should be autism sensory friendly, but it's not why I really created it. I created it because I wanted those everyday places we go into to know that we may be inside, and not to be surprised if you hear a 22-year-old man with autism who has the mentality of a 3 to 5-year-old child rambling repetitiously and maybe loudly, but he's not hurting anybody. He's doing what he has to do to cope with his surroundings, and I'm not going to shut him up, and I'm not going to tell him to be quiet, because I knew we were only going to be there for a short time, and I knew he was doing what he could to keep himself calm in his own way. But this D guy didn't get that and didn't want any explanation of why he was the way he was. So I guess I wasn't crying so much that he bothered me. It was more, I think I found myself crying because I couldn't defend us. As much as I wanted to, I could not defend us. I couldn't say not 2 words to that man like I really wanted to. At the bowling alley, it was a little different. I had Chrissy there, who kind of was a mom like me, had my back, was, there with Dustin too, and and it was loud there. But here at this place, it was very quiet, and I didn't have anybody there to sit with Dustin so I could confront this man quietly outside. So, very frustrating. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm okay. I did have to take a little bit of a break, but I'm a mom walking in autism shoes, like a lot of you, and I have my moments too. As much as I strive to be a strong person, I have my moments. But I'm trying to compose myself now, pull it together, and start today with a smile. But I had to do a little bit of venting, and sometimes it's nice to be able to talk to somebody that understands, and that way I can move forward. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to move forward and past this, and hopefully my next experience at this place, which I do intend on going back there. He is not going to run me off. I hope that next time will be a better experience. But they were very kind down there, and those are the kind of places that I really would like to see the symbol living at. Because even though they're not sensory friendly, which in a way they kind of are, because it was very quiet there, it was low lit, with the exception of that D guy, it was an ideal place to bring Dustin. I didn't have to wait long, and people were pleasant. But the symbol would have been nice to be there to show that man that we were inside, so that maybe it wouldn't have been a big surprise. So just food for thought for any of those places out there that are looking to give that symbol a home or questioning what it's all about. It's so much more than just an autism welcoming symbol. It's a symbol saying we exist, and you may not want to come in here if you can't handle people like this. But we are there. And we will continue to come in there because we need to teach our children and our adults social skills. And if you don't like it, tough. Because we're not going nowhere. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I've got to continue on with my day-to-day. Everybody was shouting out yesterday after saw my post, wondering what happened, so I'm letting you know what happened. But I'm picking myself up, brushing it off, and finding the strength to go forward. My mommy meltdowns they're not consistent. They're here and there. But I do have to have them in order to find the strength to continue. So I will let everybody go. I appreciate all your hugs, and I will continue doing what I can for you as far as the symbol, finding those homes, not giving up. And I love you all. Appreciate your support, and I will hug you soon. Have a good day.